Wrestling Federation, WCW, WWE special podcast. Welcome, everyone. Welcome on my left is The Undertaker. On my right is the New Zealand one and only Samoan bloodline. And down the road here, we got all the way from Japan. We got the Phil Trader. And down there, right down there from Aussie, but he's a Kiwi boy. We got Johnny. All right, we're going to start with The Undertaker. How you doing over there, Undertaker?
I'm back.
I thought we had a special guest here from Undertaker, man. Come on, man.
Sorry, man. I had to bring that baby out.
Yes.
Was it in the budget?
Somewhere up there. Oh, we got.
How's everyone doing?
Good, mate. Got... Been a busy morning.
Hey, it's a run-up team.
Oh, we got the Heidelberg team.
Oh,
take the glasses off. No, now I can see. There we go. Let's do this. What we got tonight in the show?
Cowabunga.
Is it Macho Man? I love it. Macho Turtle.
Oh, nice.
Macho
Mikey. Best there was and the best there ever will be. Oh yeah. Cowabunga dudes.
Cowabunga.
I thought based on your recent custom of Macho Man Campbell, that I've got a table full of Macho Mans that I'll show at some point during the stream.
Oh, awesome, dude.
He's the cream of the crop, so yeah.
He's the cream of the crop. Oh yeah.
Ooh. Show us your red hat, bro.
I got one, but I got two because everyone knows that I love Bret Hart. Even though I do Macho Man, I love Macho Man, but Bret Hart, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there will ever be. I do have a cutout, but I'm on the search to find out where he is.
I think it's my older brother's got
him. Brent's got him. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go to Hawke's Bay, and I'm gonna hunt him down. I might do a little Instagram on my hunt for Bret Hart. Ooh, yeah. And
nice.
Ken was got.
Well, this is for my mum. So this is the Macho figure that I brought for $5 at the Wanganui Toy Fair.
Oh, she's not watching.
So it didn't come with sunglasses, bro, but I had some spare sunglasses. I don't have a hat for him, but it's still Macho Man. And for $5, you can't go wrong.
That is beautiful. Great job, man.
Yeah.
So I reckon we'll talk about what I had in mind was a wrestling special, of course, but like basically what wrestling affected us back in New Zealand, Australia, whatever country. Yeah. So for us, when we hit wrestling, I was in high school, bro. We've probably known of it during intermediate, but
that was before high school. I remember us sneaking up the hallway. Mum's watching a bit of wrestling because Mum was a bit of a wrestling buff, with Macho Man. And we used to open up the hallway door, and we actually, I reckon it was around about intermediate. Back then, we had you were intermediate. I was still at primary school, and we used to sneak and watch a bit of wrestling.
Yeah.
Wonder why Mum
stay up there, bro.
He's a good man. He's on. Come on, Bret Hart. Show him how technically sound you are. You know what, man? I got to say this. When I'm looking more at my Bret Hart, I was thinking. I say to myself, you know what? The classified figures are not guaranteed 100%, but they're almost, like you can see they stole some ideas, Like, ooh, I want to do this with the wrists. They stole some ideas for the classified figures for G.I. Joe.
Have you gone to the warehouse or the toy world lately? They're bringing out wrestling legends, and the Bret Hart and Jim Dean and Neidhart figure are really good.
Ooh,
At the moment, they're Hulk Hogan.
Well, I must have a look, actually.
Yeah.
I need to go out on a Sunday, but tomorrow, so I might have a sneak peek.
Hey, who knows? We might see some at the Toy Fair tomorrow.
That's true. Actually, by the looks of it, I'm going to be taking my fiance, my girlfriend. She's looking for some gem figures.
That's Jim,
tomorrow, I'm on the hunt for some gem figures.
Today's wrestling, bro, not Jim.
I just can't do a little wee plugging for my baby. You know, she cooks me my meal. She makes me happy. Yeah.
Now Liam's is he's privileged to have probably wrestling royalty in his family.
The bloodline.
Yeah, I think. I think before I would have mentioned. I don't know if I've actually mentioned this on a podcast, but yeah, my wife's or my mother-in-law is actually related to King Haku's wife, so that's which came in handy the day that he came over to New Zealand, and we had a little family barbecue, and I met the man himself.
Oh, wicked!
That's so cool, bro. That is wicked.
He's like a real life action figure. He can't put his arms down. He's like
yeah, pretty much.
So obviously you were a gentleman and waited till he finished his meal before you asked for an autograph, eh?
Oh, bro. It was like when I was all hyped up, all week when I heard that we're gonna have lunch with them, barbecue, and so like I remember the day before I went crazy and just like got photos, had them printed out, color, laminated them. I even had the markers, pen markers to take with me. And so when we rocked up to the barbecue, I already had like a folder of like just images and things of King Haku ready for him to autograph and just to take photos. And I just remember my wife's family were like, why didn't we think of that? And I was like, well, because you're not a wrestling nerd like myself. But so I figured, man, who would have thought that I would ever meet King Haku? Just as a kid.
Yeah. Apparently the story goes that you had a very short beard and you got pissed off you for not done for his dinner, and that's how you got your long beard because you grabbed it, eh? Is that right? Is that true? Story true?
Because I had to grow the beard so he doesn't know where my chin my chin, so he doesn't give me that tongue and diff grab, sort of thing. So
and
so
he's got his son's wrestling now.
Well, his sons were there too.
Yeah.
His sons were actually at the barbecue too. So, at the time they were wrestling in Japan. And, to be honest, I didn't really know what they were doing, like how well they were doing in Japan until just recently they're now on WWE. So, go figure.
Big shots. And
now, talking about Japan, like Phil, you're in Japan at the moment, so wrestling is pretty big there too, eh? You ever gone to a few of those events?
No, I haven't been to an event, but definitely it is big. Like there's specialty wrestling merchandise shops over here, so they're awesome. Like you go in there and it's just full of figures, those masks, belts, you name it, they've got it. So yeah, it's definitely big, I think, still. And there's a lot of fandom for like the American wrestling as well. Like there's a lot of WWF figures that you can buy. So yeah, it's definitely still a big one over here.
Funny, mate. I started looking on Trade Me for another Yokozuna figure for you.
He's hard to find.
I'm
still sort of getting over that shock, but
yeah,
hopefully I'll fix them up. I think I know enough people who are good with their hands that can probably give me. I don't think I'm ballsy enough to do it myself because I'm a bit clumsy when it comes to. I definitely can't do what you do, Campbell. So I'll get a professional to have a crack at it.
Like Toi Poloi.
Yeah, Toi Poloi or Nate, our mate Nate, the retro tinker. I'm going to Australia in November, so I might put Yoko in my suitcase and see if I can hook up with Nate to fix him up because he's a great looking figure, and he's one that I'd been on the hunt for ages. And oh, dude, I was just so gutted when it turned up, and the guy hadn't even bubble wrapped the figures. Like
that pisses me off.
These Hasbros are like the plastic. Obviously, these things are like, 30 plus years old now, and like this is my Macho King.
Ooh yeah.
So he's awesome. But yeah, they do. The plastic starts to get a bit brittle and stuff, and the fact that he didn't bubble wrap him was just amateur hour stuff. So I was pretty pissed off with him. I sent him a bit of shit back, and but I did I think maybe you guys have seen my latest video. He did end up hooking me up with the American Dream, which is a really difficult figure to get because this guy was Series 2, but he wasn't released in the European market, I think, because he had already left the WWF by the time this figure was released.
Yeah, he went to WCW, I believe.
Yeah, so they actually pulled this guy off the shelf pretty quick, so there's far less of him available. So I kind of got a decent result at the end, but yeah, love my Hasbros. I don't know if you guys collect the Hasbro figures or not, but they're wicked.
I think is it. I've got to see. I'll go over those at the warehouse. But the Legend WWE figures, is it made by Hasbro or is it Mattel? I'm not sure, but yeah, I love the Hasbro figures. They were pretty cool, especially when the Bushwickers come out.
Yeah, Bushwickers in toy form. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hey Zazel, I just see Zazel's in the chat. He's in
Canada. He's in Canada right now.
Yeah, he left Japan yesterday and arrived in Canada. So
that's what I was wondering. Hello, over there a while.
Yeah,
keep flying.
Yeah, Johnny, you are a massive. I would say almost like an encyclopedia of wrestling. Like the shows I've seen you talk about the matches and all that is just absolutely amazing, bro.
I cheat. I read the books. I cheat. I look up the notes and I rely on my mate Mark. That's Boba Hickson Island because he's been into it all his life, whereas I'm kind of like a patchwork of there's bits where I'm able to see stuff and long years of gaps. Now we've got more digital network streaming stuff. It's more accessible. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube old fans have uploaded because a lot of old stuff's been abandoned or defunct. So there's cool things to watch on YouTube. There's like thousands of hours of stuff.
Oh yes, that's where I get my I touch up and sprinkle my little research sometimes. Just remember how things were and what I learned. I did that from YouTube too, mate. Yeah.
Well, there's a few good UK channels too that do like retrospectives. Don't ask me to name them, but they're just you hear the voice. You're like, oh, that's someone in the UK. But there's a heap of different ones that do retrospectives on like 80s, 90s wrestling and that, and tell you like the full storylines that played out of over 5 or 10 years. It's cool to watch stuff like that.
Now, I didn't realize I started watching when I was sort of doing this. I either thought, do I bring out some pictures or just do a bit of research? And one of the research I did was Jake the Snake Roberts, and I didn't realize that he was actually afraid of snakes.
But he
had snakes.
So that was that a McMahon idea? Was it? He was like, "You don't like snakes? Here's a snake."
I
what
think it could have been.
The early ones
I think it was his own.
Planes and dehydrated.
I think he chose it because he was afraid of snakes. And he thought, well, that means if I'm afraid of snakes, everybody else would be afraid of snakes, which worked. And it was a pretty good gimmick actually. But he said he said that his boa constrictor, who was that? Damien, has bit him so many times that one night it bit him on the arm, and the snake committed suicide. I don't know how a snake committed suicide. What? a python to just strangle itself to death, or didn't like the blood they had.
What?
That Jake had. Must be all the whiskey and all that running through his veins.
That's it. I'm going on the top of the building and I'm gonna jump. Whee! The snake going down all downstairs. Gonna snake that goes up the stairs. People instantly walking past like da, 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 da. Next minute snake.
Because we've mentioned in the past that my brother and I, we did a lot of backyard wrestling. I mean, I did amateur style, and then we went to backyard wrestling for a while. And even though it was a lot of fun, oh yes, 51, and you're paying for it now, aren't we, bro?
Oh, you guys are gonna see us in Taranaki Fair we're gonna take a photo. I'm gonna film everything set up, and we're gonna see us walking with our canes, like sticks, like. They're like, how old are you? 82. We're now 50.
We're not that bad,
sound?
bro.
Oh, bro, I've seen you walk, bro. Apparently, you and I walk with a lump together like this. Like, yeah.
I'm just going to show us a sneak peek of what's coming up. It was meant to be uploaded this morning, but it more like be up tomorrow. So this is what I've been working on for my mum. So it's a custom G.I. Joe version of Macho Man. I can't sew, so I can't do the awesome jacket.
Oh, that's when he had the great era when him and Ultimate Warrior. Yes. And also when he was in with a battle with a bit of rivalry with the good old Dream Dusty Rhodes.
Did I all myself up? No, I didn't actually. We just basically use water. But I know what you mean. That's no baby oil from Andre the Giant with Macho Man.
He didn't like him, mate. Didn't like him.
So when you say you did backyard wrestling, like I used to wrestle with my brother back in the day on the trampoline, like that used to be our wrestling ring. Like we used to bounce around all over the place and shit. We got into a bit of strife a few times. But did you guys actually have a proper ring, or you're wrestling on the grass, or
we were wrestling on the grass? It was done by another person, like a promoter, but it was pretty slack actually.
Yeah, especially when Ken was jumping off the 6-foot fence to do a bloody goddamn leg drop on me.
Yep.
I'm ready for it. I was told that the leg drop was coming. I looked up and I went, oh shit. Not the
and that we sort of injured ourselves more with the rehearsal more than the actual match itself. So with the rehearsal, we wanted to try out new techniques. So I remember, do you remember the reverse tombstone you did for me, bro?
Oh,
so the reverse tombstone is, I'll get a couple of figures here. So the normal tombstone, put me on solo, bro.
Solo.
Big him up.
All right, so this is a normal tombstone. Boof, like the head down there. He did it the other way around, where boom, and I landed that way, and then he went on to a sharpshooter afterwards. But something went wrong with the tombstone, and I was KO'd. I was literally unconscious.
Yeah, I wonder why he wasn't tapping.
No, I was unconscious, so I wasn't tapping or anything. So we came to agreement not to use that move, even though it looked really cool.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Tap.
Because a normal tombstone, your head doesn't hit the ground. It's supported.
You're protected by the knees, and also you can wrap your arms around the lower
legs.
So
what happened is, I protected him, but when he landed face first in the ground, that's when he went poing.
Yeah. I got it pretty hard actually. So yeah, so we came to agreement not to use that move, and Quinton's right with the leg drop. So I wanted to experiment doing a leg drop. I said to him, "It's coming now." As I was falling, I didn't give him much warning.
He jumped off. It's coming, bro. What? I don't repeat myself. Didn't tighten myself up ready for it. I was like, what?
And does everyone remember the Kirk Henning how he'll come running up, say a person's sitting down, and he comes running up and flips the flips over and moves the head forward.
Yeah.
So I did that technique with my bro, but once again, rehearsal went wrong, and my God, he scared the shit out of me. He literally, my bro went running up and chased the hell out of me. Oh, Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, just say this, I was the first Samoan werewolf. Before that character, how he jumps up and do things and get crazy and go,
I reckon, bro, what we should do.
So you guys are living proof that wrestling is real. Then, it's scripted, but it's freaking real, man.
My body's full of arthritis now.
Yeah. It is scripted. It is, but it's not fake.
Yeah.
It's scripted to
injuries are real.
And saying it, the modern wrestling, I think AJ Styles won a match, won a mid-card match because Ali Zine or something was knocked out cold, and it was the ref had no choice but they actually pinned him 1, 2, 3. You're the new champ, bro. Am I? I wasn't meant to be the champ, but yeah, he's knocked out cold. You knocked him out.
Yeah,
but
pretty much.
What I reckon I might do, we'll go around and we'll just each mention our top 5 wrestlers, our dream team, if you know what I mean.
Ooh.
And then after that, also talk about our top 5. I know this is off the cuff here, but our top 5 tag team. So
it's
just off the cuff.
It's very similar to picking your Survival Series team.
Yep. So, well, we'll go with you, bro.
Ooh.
You'll be first. Yep. So number 5.
Your eyes bugged around your head.
Okay. Well, I've got to start with the Hart Foundation. Bret Hart. Right, Bret Hart.
Is your number 5?
I had the Jim the Anvil Neidhart, which I actually had. If you remember back in the days, the figures that didn't move, I had a Jim the Anvil Neidhart. So I got Bret Hart, Jim.
Now, bro, one at a time, man. Your top 5.
I thought I'd do all 5 straight away.
No.
No. You didn't explain that.
Quino's about to blow his load.
I'm pretty much Give me it. Yes.
Right, let me explain the rules. Cable.
There's no rule. There's no whole bar.
Right, we're all going to explain our favorite wrestlers one at a time, Campbell. One at a time. One at a time. Jeez. Not
you know what it is?
Do your 5 wrestlers. I said, what? Like Survival Series? I thought we had to do all our 5 at a time.
No.
One at a time. Campbell doesn't explain that. You're fired, bro. All right, everyone, one at a time. Bret Hart.
It's my concussions.
Concussions.
So your top 5 is your number of top 5 is your first number 5 is Bret Hart.
Bret Hart.
Number 5, not number 1.
He's my number 1. Fuck it. What are you saying? Number 1 is at the last, in other words.
No, number 1 is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna do him last or first.
Ray, you start off with one.
I tell you what. Fuck's sakes. I gotta have a freaking beer.
Pop that beer up, Johnny. You're gonna need it.
I haven't taken this out since I spoke to you ages ago. Well, I took this cup out for you.
I've got pen and paper. Yeah, I love that cup. I've got pen and paper now. My OCD's taken over. I take these top 5s very seriously.
Oh, man.
I've got my coffee, but it's finished.
Remember, 1 at a time, starting from 5 to 1.
Jesus, Stone Cold Steve Austin, eat your heart out.
What?
Okay, all right. All right, bro. Is Johnny going first, is he, or Rams?
Go, Johnny.
We'll start from backwards. Go, yeah.
All right. What's your number 5, Johnny?
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah. Getting serious now.
Getting serious now.
Number 5 is Johnny himself.
Johnny, you're muted, buddy.
Johnny, have you pulled the plug out of your mic?
he
Sorry, I muted it because I was opening that.
he ripped the mic out.
But yeah, I had to hold out because I'm getting a bit warm now.
Yep.
The all-time favourites will start with Roddy Piper.
Number 5 is Roddy Piper for you. All right, who's next, bro?
It'll be Dr. Bill, himself from Japan.
Okay, as I said, you put me on the spot, but I did love Don the Rock Morocco.
Mate.
When I was a kid, I loved the. He was the pole driver. I think was his finishing move. And
we've actually seen him live in New Zealand in the YMCA. Yeah,
right. I think he's Hawaiian, isn't he? I think. So
I'm not sure. I thought it was Italian.
No, he's not Hawaiian.
Okay, I don't know.
I think he's from
Morocco.
Actually further.
Maybe I've just seen him wear Hawaiian shirts.
He is from Hawaii, yeah.
Yeah, could do.
Right.
So here's number 5 for you, bro.
This is also one of my favorite LJNs because I had this
LJN figures
back in the day, and I collect Hasbro figures now, but when I was a kid, I was all about the LJNs.
Oh, those toys were the epic. You can pretty much abuse them as much as you want, and they will still keep on ticking.
Absolutely, yep. Smash
All right,
it together.
next is the man himself, the Haku Man Rams.
I would have to go with probably number 5 is Haku.
Ooh,
Haku
Be my number 5. Haku.
He was a pretty bad man.
Is it
tough man, eh?
Haku or King Haku or Ming?
Oh.
I'd say it would have to be King Haku.
King Haku. Yeah, that was. Yeah.
Okay. Now we're getting things straight and right. It's the one and only Cobra Pit. And you know what? I can't. My number 5 has to be one of the best theme musics. He's got the best theme music. He's got one of the best finishing moves. And of course, being in Cobra myself, it's got to be Jake the Snake Roberts. Yeah, Jake the Snake Roberts. Yeah. All right.
With the Cobra, bro, or Damien?
Oh, Damien when he first came out. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so top number 5 for me would have to be Owen Hart. Owen Hart as when he turned heel, when he was the not in high energy, but yeah, when he was Owen Hart and when he became King of the Ring, Owen Hart.
No, when he was Blue Blazer, when he came, he was a good heel, man.
Yep.
I think he blueprinted the way through ones like Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio being Family Feud and all that. He blueprinted all that stuff, how to do it.
Oh, Bret Hart and Owen Hart did an amazing job. You know, that feuding family. Yeah, feuding brothers. They did a wonderful job.
Did you still follow wrestling when he had, because I was out of wrestling by the time he had his tragic, accident
loss
from the.
Yeah, we did actually.
Were you still following it? Because you must have been bloody devastated.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We had a friendly friend, or he's actually a neighbour that was. He left New Zealand to be the Canadian rugby team coach.
Oh, he was the coach. He was one of the coaches.
So he actually went to Owen Hart's funeral, and he said he couldn't believe how much. Literally, it was so packed that they actually had big screens outside for people to watch the funerals.
Oh,
it was a live stream. Yeah, it was well loved. I love how Owen Hart ribbed a lot of people back in the day.
He was a practical joker.
He was a practical joker in a bit.
There's a whole book just on his ribs. Actually, can you get?
What ribs? I don't know. Sticky ribs.
No, yeah, sticky ribs. No, Owen Hart. There's a guy that does a YouTube commentary and wrestling, but he's written a couple of books. One about The Rock, and he's written one about Owen Hart. That's just about all his legendary ribs.
King of Coons.
That's awesome.
That is cool, man.
Harley Race him running around that outfit.
And
Actually, Haku was one of
it's fabulous.
one of my favorite LGNs as well.
I'm looking forward to now got the ring back and the Queen of the ring.
Who's got number 4? It's Rams now, is it? Or no, Johnny?
It's Johnny.
You're running
Johnny
the show,
B.
bro.
Johnny B. Bad. Tell me your number 4.
I'll bring up my little list there because I got bad short-term memory. So even though I know I've got my list next to me because I'll forget stuff.
Oh, that's okay. That's
Next
one big guy wrestling on the trampoline, eh?
Probably Ric Flair.
Ric Flair.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
You fly, woman stealing.
Ric Flair in the 80s. Not so much Ric Flair now, who's like busy insulting people in restaurants, and getting drunk in public and doing other stupid things.
Oh, yeah. He's just.
I like how he goes nuts, man. When he goes nuts and starts elbowing his shoes in the middle of the ring, that's
elbowing.
But you got to reverse it, and he's got to sell the hell out of it. Go and he's got to go my back, just fed every match.
As a caregiver, when I go to my team meetings,
his back would hurt.
Because he came up with that sort of going over the top, over the turnbuckle way. That was his thing of like they throw him to the turnbuckle and he flips over. That was the thing he made up
along the outside of the top of the apron. Of the...
Oh, now the best one was when he takes a hit, boom, boom, takes a hit, just looks at the ring, then also looks at them.
Face first.
I can do that one. I can do that. Like I used to do jiu-jitsu and we did falls and flats. I can do that. You like walk forward. It's got to make sure you turn your head a little bit sideways. You don't break your nose or hit your chin as you go down.
As a caregiver, when I go to meetings, majority of the time at the end of meetings, I throw attention like Ric Flair. I put my hat down and I go, ooh, ooh.
I did one time at
about that meeting's gone for 3 hours. I can't take it.
I also do I do aged care and that. So once a year I got to do like first aid training. But a couple of years ago in the city I was doing one, and it was just all strangers, just all people coming to do the first aid training. But there's a point where they go, we need a volunteer to be a casualty on the ground. And before I don't put my hand up, I stand up, I flick me keys and phone out of my pocket, because when you go down on your side, you don't want your keys crushing into you for like 5 or 10 minutes while you're pretending to be a casualty. I just stumble forward. I put one leg in front of it and I trip forward like I really go down this went. Like I went down like real hard, so it looks like I knocked myself out. But I'm just like mucking around for the class, and some people looking like, oh, I think he really hurt himself. It's like, no, I just pushed myself into the ground.
I know exactly what you mean, Johnny. Yeah, we go through that training where we go full. You know,
I have to try not to giggle, because if someone hasn't seen it, they're like, "Oh, he's hurt himself." I'm like, "No, I'm trying not to giggle because I love falling down in front of people, make you think I hurt myself."
I'm such a big guy. When it comes time for my turn to fall, and everyone's lining up for volunteering, and all these girls are like, "No, we're not going to try and catch Quinn." I always land on my feet.
All right, next one, bro. Number 4.
So actually, because you put me on the spot, he's not number 5. Knock him out. So
he's over the top.
Number 5 is the flying Coco Beware.
The Birdman.
I love this guy.
What is that?
Oh,
that's like a sex toy, bro. That's wrong.
He's one of the jumpers with that weird thing in his back that you push down on him. But I remember he was such a colourful, awesome guy to follow. He'd often be just like, he'd get his ass kicked most of the time, but I don't know, he was great. So he's my number 5, and then I'm with Quino. I think number 4 would be Jake the Snake for me. Yeah,
he was
awesome.
I still say he was one of the greatest. He had the greatest backstage promos. The way he talked to his opponents.
Yeah, he had some great storyline rivalries, like with Rick Rude, and
Macho Man.
He was just an interesting character to follow.
Did you remember the blindfold match with Rick the Model Martel?
Yeah.
That was
when
great.
his
That was
eyes
so
got all
funny.
bunged up. Yeah.
So
he was
now,
great. Jake the Snake was my younger brother's favorite, so shout out to my younger bro.
Now, Johnny would just to make sure, because I was following a lot about Jake the Snake. So he refused a title because the snake was too heavy. It was like 100 pounds, and he didn't want any gold. He was happy being the mid card.
Yep.
Yeah. He said, "I don't want the gold. I'm carrying a snake." When he went to the Cobra, bro, he was glad to be done with the snake. He said that thing weighed about 100 pounds. Yeah.
Actually, the other true part about it too, he actually didn't want any titles. He said, Vince, man, I don't care if I have a title or not. He did it all before in AEW and stuff like that. He did it, and he just wanted to cruise through WWF back then. And as he said, he goes, I don't, because there's a lot of responsibilities. I think he enjoyed himself. The rivalries he had, that was more for him. Yep. All right.
I love his promos and interviews. He's one of those guys that he was so
intense. He's one of the best.
And he's like some psycho killer or the Thriller movie or something. He's not like all the other guys like Road Warriors and more who are like just like blustering, screaming and all cartoon. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna get him, and then that's what I'm gonna do. He's like ASMR, like talking real quiet, like right into your ear, like then I'm gonna assassinate in the middle of the night or something. He's just like.
I actually based my fatherhood raising my two kids on Jake the Snake. When I wouldn't go to bed, I used to walk through the door. I go, too many times you actually say you want to cross the water. And what I'm going to do is cross the water, I'm going to get Damien. I used to have like a fake sort of, how sort of door stoppers or those door runners?
Oh,
I had
the door draft.
Like this. I said, Damien's going to put you to sleep. I'm going to put you down to DDT. And the kids loved it. They just lay in bed and giggle and go to sleep. They're on a night. I'm going to put you to DDT in your bed. Boom. And that's it. That's it. Yeah, that man himself. He was the great that put the kids to sleep.
Oh, with the Cobra. Yeah, man.
Check out that hair, man. That's some full mullet
territory. Yeah, it's a mullet.
Beautiful locks.
And he's one of the few that are still with us, right? He's still alive.
He's done as much drugs as like Keith Richards, man, and he's somehow still alive.
Alcohol, drugs.
But it didn't look like he was as jacked up on the roids like a lot of the other dudes, right?
No, he was more like his
body was more relatable.
Pills and potions, and all the stuff that gets you addicted, sort of drugs. Not so much the stuff.
He was basically pickled. I think that's why he's preserved.
Yeah.
He was well marinated.
Yeah. Absolute classic.
Rotisserie, people. You don't understand. All right, Rams. Give us your number 4.
It just popped out of my mind, but I'd say my number 4, probably growing up, I'd have to go with Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah,
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Hacksaw. You can't go past Mr. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Yeah,
Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Gonna come and get you, tough guy.
USA.
He had
such an interesting finishing move too. Just had that sort of gridiron stance to a clothesline.
Yeah, that was a good finishing move.
Yeah.
He looked hilarious though. It was so comical though when he became the king. Like how the crown would just sort of sit sort of awkwardly on it. Like it was just like hilarious as the king.
And he was the first Royal Rumble winner. For the very first Royal Rumble, he was the winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he had titles. He had no titles too, for his reign. Apart from King of the Ring.
No, it wasn't King of the Ring, bro.
No.
He basically took the crown off King Harley Race.
Oh, I couldn't remember that. Yes, you're right. I thought he won the
And then he lost to Macho Man Randy Savage, who became King Macho. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah,
No,
back then
I lied.
the tournament.
No, sorry, I lied. It was King Harley Race. Then it was Haku. And he beat Haku for the king. And then Macho King, Macho beat Hacksaw for the crown. Yeah, sorry, I lied about that. I had it mixed up. Must be my concussions. Or none
So
of
with
coffee.
with Hacksaw, because Campbell and I have had a chat about it before. He came up to Armageddon here in Auckland.
Yeah.
He was a guest there, and I was just having a chat with Campbell once, and I was like, the only time I go to Armageddon is when people that I actually want to go see turn up. So like Hacksaw was one of them. MacGyver came one year, so went to go see Richard Dean Anderson. But I remember that time, and then it was a funny thing because I didn't actually pay the money to go sign stuff, so he had like an in-ring interview going on, so I thought, hey, the only way I get to chat with him is to like raise my hand and ask a question. So I sent Campbell a video of me asking the question to Hacksaw, and apparently you were there at the same time, weren't you, Campbell?
Yep. So I can't remember the question you asked him, but you might as well tell us. So what was the question you asked him?
I think for me, it wasn't about asking a question. It was a request at the end, and I asked them to do one of those USA chants, which he did. And then after he did that, then he just started going New Zealand,
New
and
Zealand.
Then and so it was good. And then he finished off with the good old ho. So
Yeah. And the question I actually asked Hacksaw was, what have you thought about the tag team division right now? And he said that the tag team division back in the day, or I can't remember, it would have been 2000. Let's have a rough guess. It must have been about 10 years ago, I guess, maybe less or more. I don't know. But yeah, he said the tag team division is on fire, and he wished that the tag team division back in the 80s was just as good, if not better.
Oh, the tag division right now is, you're right. There's so much going on with both SmackDown and Raw.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. I guess it's the Cobra Pit man himself.
Bear o'clock.
Bear o'clock. Yep. Oh. Right now, number 4. I said first of all is Jake the Snake. Got to have him in there. Number 4 would be Jim the Evil Neidhart.
Nice.
Yeah, you got to have him. Yeah. I mean, come on. He was another good. He actually was brought in with Bret to hit my heart because first Bret hit my heart was not very good behind the mic. So they paired him up with Jim the Evil Neidhart, and he just slowly coached him how to do it, stuff like that, and that's when it came the legendary Heart Foundation. So yeah, my one is Jim the Evil Neidhart.
Is that where he met his wife? Because they're brother-in-laws, aren't they?
Yeah, that's it.
So
Jim
he married
Neidhart and Bret Hart didn't know each other. Or they knew each other, but they weren't close till he was paired up with I think it was Senior. Vince Senior paired him up with Jim the Evil Neidhart, saying, look, he's going to help you.
No, that's right.
He can wrestle. Bret Hart could wrestle well, but he couldn't do the mic. He was too shy.
No, that's right. They did training. They did training in the dungeon together.
Yeah.
Didn't they? Yeah.
Originally, no. Jim actually, Evil Neidhart never actually went to the dungeon till the end.
Oh, true.
He wrestled in I think we're up near Seattle area, Washington Wrestling Association, and went through the industry. And he was signed up for of course, Vince Senior. He signed up there, and he just pretty much paired him with him. He was only supposed to tag him up with only a short time.
What do you think of Jim's daughter, Natalia, and his other daughter?
I actually feel that she doesn't get the recognition that she should get for the girls, being like one of the not the one, but one of the proper wrestling performance powerhouse. Before these girls, these women, actually not girls, these women, they can wrestle now, and I think she was one of the first to actually wrestle properly. So just like, look at my looks, you know. She wrestled.
She's been there the longest too of the current female roster. She's been there longer than anyone.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say she is still going strong, not as much, but yeah.
End of this year, I've ordered it on Amazon. Comes out about December. Like,
oh wow, wicked!
Looking forward to that.
Right,
that's out the gate. Okay, so I suppose my number 4.
Yeah,
my number 4. I'm switching it up a bit, so I'm going with Conan from WCW, Wolfpack Conan.
Oh,
Wolfpack in the house.
Did you know? Here's an interesting fact.
Yeah,
that Conan is actually the godfather of Dirty Dom Mysterio.
I thought Eddie was.
No,
was Eddie the dad?
Conan is the godfather. Oh, you can have 2 godfathers, but I do know Conan is the godfather of Dirty Dom.
The Godfather. I can imagine Conan being the Godfather.
Godfather of Lucha, of the Mexican wrestlers here.
I feel that my number 3 or 2 is going to upset a few people, but hear me out. But then I'll let you. We'll wait until that happens.
Yeah. Okay. You do upset a lot of people, though, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. That's a given.
Also make people happy as well too. Ooh, yeah. Okay, who's next, bro?
Johnny be bad.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you. My next one. So we're not up to number 1 yet. So I'll go my next one in the middle here. Before I say the name, you're all going to know who I'm going to say with this gesture. Before I say the name.
Yeah.
Steve.
Austin 316 says, "I just whooped your ass, son."
Hey, with that beer you're holding, mate. Yeah, most definitely.
Crush it on your head.
I'm gonna stop my mud.
Nice one.
Nice, yeah. Stone Cold.
Yeah, probably one of the coolest matches of all time. Austin versus Bret Hart at WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah.
Where you get him in the sharpshooter, where he doesn't give up and he does the he's passing out, but he's bleeding. He's done the blade, and this is a time when they weren't allowed to do any blading and cutting, but they did it old school, where Bret Hart had it taped up inside his wrist thing, and they did it way over in the corner where no one could see it on the ground, not in front of the camera like idiots do. And so it looked genuine. It looked like he'd really scraped his face on the ring post or wherever on the barrier. And gets him in that sharpshooter, and he's tapping and he's screaming and he's like passing out and bleeding. And they've used that on DVD covers, which later got banned because they didn't want to show the bloody cover on the various ones. And they had to switcheroo, like they went heel baby. So they both basically switched around to that match.
Yeah, because he never tapped out. He passed out, didn't he?
Yeah, he passed. He passed it. He doesn't really pass out, but he sells it really well. If you watch it really time, you think, shit, he really passed out. You know, like he looks like he's really in pain. So they sold it so well.
Right, next one. So, who's your number 3?
So are we doing tag teams as well, or just?
We can do tag teams.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure, but okay. So my number 3 is going to be Bret Hart. Hart Foundation, spoiler alert, probably my favorite tag team. So I've got to go with Bret Hart in my top 5.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bret Hart in WWE, I mean F or WCW?
So actually, my love of WWF is probably way shorter than all of you guys. So I pretty much was a diehard wrestling fan from about 1987 to I reckon 1991, 1992 is when I kind of tapped out of wrestling. And I don't know about you guys, but where I was growing up in Dunedin, so word got out that wrestling wasn't real, and so all of a sudden it became an uncool thing to watch and follow wrestling. So I regret it now, because now watching like the McMahon documentary, like there's so much awesome wrestling that I missed out on, and I just didn't have a bar of it. Like after probably 92, I didn't follow it at all. So my Bret Hart is basically mostly when he was part of the Hart Foundation, and just a little bit, I think, once he went solo. So
Solo.
but
Nice.
he still would make my top 5 for sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Okay. Nice.
Roddy,
Going on. Hey, Ron. Hey, Ron's in the house.
I'm not gonna mention Ronnie.
Ronnie, my man, how you going, brother?
Right. Next man, the man who met Haku himself.
Mhm. I'd say I'll be Phil and I are probably the same. I sort of grew up with the 80s wrestling scene, and sort of fell away and then got back into it in the 90s. So I'll probably just carry on with the 80s sort of theme. And I think just growing up, I just loved the Junkyard Dog. The Junkyard Dog.
Yeah, man, great call.
Junkyard Dog.
Yeah, with all the chains, and he's the man.
Yeah.
Junkyard Dog. Just love following him. Yeah, so I sort of we pretty much lived in Australia in those mid 80s, and so it was always on TV. So and they had the toys in the toy stores. So those guys like Junkyard Dog, loved them growing up watching them. Junkyard Dog.
Nice. Yep, nice. Junkyard Dog, actually, that is actually.
He'd probably make my top 5 too, actually. I'd forgotten about him.
Oh yeah.
When I think of the Steiners, especially the new, I think of that. It's it came from Junkyard. All right, next one up.
Going back to the toys, JYD had a great LJN figure too. They should have made a Hasbro. They didn't. There's no JYD Hasbro, unfortunately.
Those LJNs are nice.
Deserved one.
Great.
I missed out on that. Well, what was your number 3? Sorry, I had to deal with my wife who just came back.
Oh,
Junkyard Dog. The Junkyard Dog.
Junkyard
JYD,
Dog.
baby.
Yes.
Junkyard Dog.
You forget it, Cam. It was JYD.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, my youngest daughter was being sick, and my wife just took her to the doctors, and she's just come back.
Oh, okay.
oh, good.
Yeah.
It's all right, bro. It's okay. All right. My number 3 will actually be my WCW, and when he was in WCW, and it's when he actually starting to have the rival between him and NWO. I want everyone's guessing this. And I reckon he was perhaps one of the best out of wrestling. He brought a lot of wrestlers back into fitness and health. And my man's got to be, number 3 is DDP.
Nice.
No,
I gotta say,
to be honest,
I actually do follow DDP yoga, and it actually works.
I must. It's good though. What he did when we, seeing Scott Hall when he was at the Hall of Fame and all that, made me respect DDP more, and for Jake the Snake and what he's done for
Lex Luger.
Bada Bean.
Alive.
Yeah.
And Lex Luger.
Oh yes, Lex Luger. He's done a lot for those wrestlers to come back.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Ronnie. Thank you, AA Ron. It's clean shaven for now, but not for long. I've actually got. I looked at this man here, and I'm thinking to myself, I miss my long beard, and I'm going to grow my long beard back, but not for long. It's going to go back to the mustache. But I decided I'm going to rock it for a year or 2, something like that. Yeah. All right. Next one up.
That's a good one. That's
DDP.
Oh,
Come on.
Yeah, DDP is a legend, man.
yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
And he started the manager. You know, he just started as the manager.
Yep.
You know, worked
And he
away.
even appeared on WWF in like an entourage years before an event, before he was formally on anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't like him in
And,
WWF. I think Vince didn't utilize him as much in WWF.
He's done some great podcast interviews, old DDP, with some of the old legends and that. He's talked to Piper and all kinds of guys, and those documentaries, Jake the Snake and all that, and like awesome. He's looked after those guys.
Yeah, he's done really well, and I had to say it works. That's probably why my knees aren't as sore as they used to be. Yeah, it's probably far better than going to a gym.
Right, the man we call Rambo Cambo, go for it.
Rambo Cambo.
Oh, that's what the name when I was growing up. Cambo the Rambo, or Rambo Cambo.
That's for another story, but yeah, Cambo.
Interesting story. Sorry, bro. Interesting story, guys. When Campbell was younger and was trying to get money for Joe's collections when he was younger, like a young adult in his 20s, that was actually his porn name, Cambo Rambo.
That's where the baby oil came in, eh?
Yeah.
When I was clean shaven and had the MacGyver's mullet.
You see his background at the back? That was actually a souvenir for one of his 80s porn he did.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I played Tarzan. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you play Cambo Rambo. Rambo.
Was that a Sunday market special? I think I've seen that for $2.
Ramrod.
You know, he is on OnlyFans.
I'm gonna lose subscribers on this, bro.
You gotta gain it.
Your brother's stitching you up, mate.
That would be a little spot on. That would be an awesome custom Cambo Rambo.
Oh well, Lilith has actually spelled my name. She's actually spelled Cambo, and how it's spelled correctly. That's how I spell my nickname, Cambo. Cambo. Yeah.
You got to do a custom on yourself.
My number three, and it came up through Joe Fan, and my number 3 is going to be the Big Boss Man.
Oh,
He brought this up in the conversation.
Which Big Boss Man?
The one when he still in the 80s, bro, and he came up with when he became face, and he had that really cool music. Yeah.
And he had the rival between the Hen family.
No, I think the $1 Million Man tried to buy him out. So he took the championship title. I don't know what the story was. I put it in Jake the Snake's bag, and he said, "You're too scared." And I can't remember what it is, but the $1 Million Man tried to buy the Big Boss Man. And that's how it all started, how he became a face. But I remember the against the Mountie, there was another villain that he had. But the nightstick, oh my God, I fell in love with the weapon, the nightstick. That to me was
You actually had a nightstick yourself.
I still do, bro. Yeah, I've got 2 nightsticks actually, and I still practice with them. I'm not as good as I used to be. I still drop them and land on my feet or get them in the groin.
Oh, Cambo Rainbow in the groin.
But when it came back to is this,
you still got insured, bro?
What's that?
Nothing. I said you still got insured?
What, my groin?
The Cambo
I'm married,
Rainbow.
bro.
You're married?
No more kids, for me now.
You ruined me.
Hey, someone's getting a reverse pole driver tomorrow.
It won't be me.
Right. Good luck.
We're too old to be doing that shit.
Jeez, man, halfway through me picking up, I'll be like, "Oh, my back's out! Oh, my back's out! Oh!" And all of a sudden, you see us, the Barracks Podcast brothers, driving away in the ambulance without even doing a move.
Actually,
Campbell,
Have you watched because Kelly, the Slaughter daughter, she's actually buddies with Big Boss Man's daughter.
Daughter. Yeah.
So
I love that.
She's done a couple of streams or chats with her about their dads and stuff. So
I was blown away.
Pretty cool to listen to. Yeah.
Blown away.
They're roughly the same age, so they were really young, like when their pops were.
It was pretty. It's pretty close. So but yeah, number 3, the Big Boss Man. Yeah, pretty close with as she used to say, Uncle Rowdy. I was going to put Rowdy Ronnie Piper, but no.
Uncle Rowdy.
Rowdy.
Right, number 2 from Johnny. Be back.
Oh yeah, I'll go back to my list on the side here. Let's have a look. So I've got plenty. I've got my top ones, but you always got the B and C tier,
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying not to give away the number one accidentally before I get this. It's pretty obvious, but I won't say it. Okay, so the next one I'll go will be, let's see, hang on. So we've said Austin. Yeah, we've said Piper. Probably go. It's tricky now. We've already talked about DDB before because he's one of my all-time favorites, but in and out of the ring as well as his matches. Probably, I think I'll go Undertaker for it, so not to give away my number 1 yet. So I'll go Undertaker because he's such an awesome long. There's 2 guys I think of who had like amazingly long careers where they've legitimately wrestled for like 30 years without being. I mean, everyone gets beat up in surgeries, but they've had skill. They've done matches. They haven't had long. They've had maybe had gaps or whatever. But Ric Flair and Undertaker have both had massively long careers, probably the longest careers of any modern guys, where they've like consecutively done so many thousands of matches. They've come back. They've had career peaks, but some guys have multiple career peaks. There's 3 or 4 career peaks for like Undertaker and guys like him. But he's had all his dead man stuff, and he's come back as like American Badass, had those awesome matches with like Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair when they were all getting way too old and way too beat up to be doing stuff. They're still going. He was actually in Perth last year. He came. If I'd known, I would have went. Not for the wrestling. We had a one of those bloody not the cage matches, but the elimination chamber. I always get confused because there's so many different cage matches now. They had one of those in January last year in Perth. Way too expensive. I couldn't go. The tickets were just through the roof. They went, never mind. Would have been nice. Could have seen Rhea Ripley there, But they had Undertaker doing a solo thing in Fremantle, which is 10 minutes away from where I live. Fremantle's the port city out of Perth. He was doing his speaking tour, which is like it's like a Billy Crystal thing. He's just sitting out on the stage with a microphone, casual clothes, talking about his career. It was only about $100, and I was sitting there the night when it was on, going, "There's actually more tickets." I actually could have sat there when it was started and bought a ticket and driven 15 minutes from my house and possibly still got in there. But I didn't know it was on at the time. They didn't advertise it very well, or I would have bloody gone, because the live show with the wrestling that he wasn't part of, that was, who knows, $400 or $500. This was like $100 I could have afforded to see him sitting down talking about his career for But now he's on YouTube. You can hear him every bloody week talking about his career as Mark.
Yeah, on his podcast, eh?
Yeah, for free. So I do regret not going and seeing that. If I'd known, I would have gone. I assumed, wrongly so, the tickets would have been sold out and expensive, but they did, probably because it's in Fremantle. Not a lot of people go to Fremantle. It's kind of a dead town these days.
Is it really?
Yeah, no. If
I don't know where it is.
South of the river, if it was north of the river, it would be like, well, imagine, say, Kiss came to New Zealand. They went to, I don't know, Auckland and not Christchurch, where I grew up. It's going to sell out. If it's in Dunedin, is it going to sell it? Probably, but maybe it might not. Maybe 10% of the tickets, no one gives a shit and they don't turn up because they're just like, can't be bothered. Well, stay home. It's cold. Stay home with your missus, But because it's Fremantle, it didn't sell out. But yeah, Undertaker's had so many awesome career peaks and so many different incarnations, 4 or 5 different ones that are still variations of Undertaker, where he's dead and he's died and he's come back again and alive and buried in a casket, and Kane and Paul Bearer and all that stuff. He just had so many epic bloody storylines and just lived that gimmick for like 30 years.
I reckon he was a master of reinventing himself. Like, he knew that his body was aging, and the moves that he used to do, he realized he had to change.
Yeah,
And that's why he lasted
you
so
can see
long.
when Brock Lesnar in UFC took off, he was wearing the gloves, he shaved his hair, he grew a goatee beard, he started taking his shirt off, which was like, holy shit, you seeing his shirt off was really weird. And then you're like, he's getting old, he's getting saggy man boobs now. So you put your shirt back on.
Happens to all of us, mate.
Right. Next one up.
That's a good one.
The Japanese assassin, Dr. Phil. What's yours?
Japanese assassin, Dr. Phil.
Japanese
Wow.
assassin, the ninja. Okay, so my number 2 was actually my favorite as a kid, and it's a bit of a hot take. He probably wouldn't make anyone else's maybe top 10. Not the most amazing wrestler of all time. I don't think he ever won a championship bout, intercontinental or anything. It's the man with the hot pink tie.
Oh, yeah.
Barber beefcake.
Brunei.
Brutus.
I absolutely love Brutus as an 8-year-old. I don't know. Maybe it was his hot tight buttocks.
Yeah.
And his,
Falling out of pants there, Phil.
but yeah, I just love. I had his posters on the wall. Even his fit, like this LJN is a pretty rubbish LJN, to be honest. His Hasbro, that's version 2.
That's pretty good.
Much better than version 1.
Yeah.
I've seen they've done one of it in the Motu one where he's in that WCW character where he's in the mask and that same crazy zebra outfit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He looks a bit insane here. But yeah, I don't like even his finishing move, the sleeper hold. I wasn't even a fan of that. So I think it was more his personality and his charisma. It wasn't his wrestling talents at all. But I loved his his pre-match interviews and him cutting and strutting his way to the ring. It was just a total package for me. So
I remember when he had his.
Yeah, go ahead.
I remember when he had his yachting accident and his face had to be reconstructed. So he was out of action for a while. I remember being quite young and hearing this, like, oh my God, like one of my favorite wrestlers. Like, that's it, we don't see him again.
Yeah,
Thank God he did come back.
Such a beautiful man.
That was horrific, man, because they gimmicked that in the storyline, but that was real. He really did lose his entire face. That had world-class surgeons to fix it. So that was bloody horrible.
Yeah, definitely. But big fan. But yeah, on reflection, like if I think carefully about his career as an adult, my number 1 pick's going to be a bit more of an obvious sort of heavy hitting character. But as a kid, nobody could top Brutus for me. So he's my number 2.
Number 2, well deserved.
Yeah,
he's next on my list to get the figures like him and Hacksaw of the sort of 80s dudes.
Oh, nice.
All right. Simone, Killing Machine. We all know.
Killing Machine.
You changed the name.
Hey, you gotta spice things up. You gotta.
He's I love it. White. He's gonna smile at you, and then he's just gonna come at you sideways. I don't know. Look out, man.
Yeah. His wrestling move his wrestling move is a headbutt, but he uses it what he does. He brushes bead against your face while he comes down. Poof, right. Like a paintbrush effect.
Is that like carpet burn or something?
Yes.
He's like frozen it overnight. He's gonna like chisel that beard into your head.
That looks like it's rock hard, eh? Instead of he hits you with his chin, his iron beard chin.
Honestly, bro, I had the privilege of meeting this man up close and personal, and that beard is soft like Santa Claus, bro.
Oh,
it's
bro.
Awesome.
I'll be right there, Ramsey. Cambo the Rainbow is quite interesting in your beard.
Cambo the Rainbow.
Did he throw his fingers through it?
Now I know why you. Now I know why you shaved yours, Quinto.
Yeah. He tends every time we do a photo shoot, he tends to play with it. I'm like, what do you do, bro?
That's Star
I
Wars.
would say.
All right, number 2.
All right, my number 2. So my earliest memories of wrestling was here in Auckland It was in the late 70s, mid to late 70s. Yes, I'm old. But as a kid, my dad took me to one of the on the mat filming
On the mat,
TV.
nice.
On the mat, that's
So,
bring back heaps of memories.
and that was that was held at the YMCA in Auckland. And before The Rock, there was his grandfather.
Oh,
No way. No
Wow.
way.
Awesome.
Dude.
Peter Maivia.
Beautiful.
So,
That is awesome.
that is amazing. Man.
Hey Rams,
so yeah,
what's the company that makes those?
this is it's just got
That's that
Mattel
3
on
pack
there.
from this year.
Mattel, is it?
Mattel.
Yep, that's this year's 3-pack.
That's a really good set.
That is awesome. Oh my god, that is out the gate.
They don't make a lot of Rocky Johnson figures, so it's nice they included them in the 3-pack.
Yeah, it comes with his robe. Rocky Johnson's.
Rocky Johnson's robe.
Yeah, so I had to pick it up. Once I saw it, I was like, I messaged a mate that lives over there. I was like, man, you gotta send me that because I just need an action figure of The Rock's grandfather. And so Peter Maivia, very respectable figure in the Samoan community growing up, especially in the 60s and 70s here in New Zealand. And just remember as a kid going to on the mat filming television and watching Peter Maivia and Siva Afi as they used to have, and they had villains like a guy named King Curtis.
Yep.
So that's in those early years. So that would be my number 2, is paying homage to one of the men who started that whole bloodline. So
Yeah.
there
Yeah,
you
you're
that's
right.
true. Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah. Right.
That is true.
Bring it over to the evil master. All right, here we go. My number 2, and this guy here is late. I say he's 2000s. He's an early wrestler. He's a modern day wrestler. I really should do. We're doing 80s, aren't we? Can I do one right now? But I think he is. He's been around for a while. I was going to say the greatest of all time, CM Punk.
Oh, the CM Punk was... Yeah, you can do CM Punk, bro. Yeah.
He was wrestling in independence and stuff like that back then.
Yeah.
CM Punk. He's been around for a while.
Tell you what, bro, I would love to get CM
25 years
Punk on the
at
show.
least, yeah.
I know the G.I. Joe fan.
Yeah. I just had to put him in. I know he was wrestling and he started around when Batista started around when they were doing independent stuff and that. And I remember, he is controversial what he says, but at least it's just truth what he says. But no, CM Punk, going back over there, he's a great wrestler.
Yeah. Yeah. As I said before, I would love to interview him because I know he's into G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
But, you gotta get hold of his agent and stuff like that. Dreams are free. You never know. Never say never know.
Yeah, you got to try.
I think the first
He's
time
on
you're
my
going to see me
favorite
just doing, the first time, if we bring him on the show, it'll be the first time I'll be speechless.
Hey, Quentin, have you heard when he left AEW? Have you heard from that scrum after the match when he's all bloody and he's sitting there and he's going, I'm old and I'm tired, I'm sick of all this BS and this. It's one of the best things that's on YouTube. And it's just like, if you're 30 or 40 plus and you watch it, it doesn't matter what job you've ever done. You're like, I totally get where he's coming from. It's like, I'm sick of this nonsense and these people mucking around.
Yep. Yeah, I watched that and I thought, yep, that's how I feel at the moment. Yep.
Yeah,
It's very
I think every man in this job at one point just feels that way. Like, fuck this shit. There's 2 dreams that every man's got when he works, right? Is that the ability to actually just sit down or just say what is on his mind, and next thing will help a lot. if you win lotto, but you still keep working, so you got the chance of one meeting to say, you know what, I'm sick of you guys. You're a bunch of wankers, you ass kisser. You're a professional ass kicker. You're Willy Wonka. You do this, you that. I would love that, eh?
Yeah.
I would
It's
love
the
to
best,
give
'cause,
them
like-
a whole right down and saying, you're fired. I said, I ain't fired. I quit.
All right.
It's the best. Wrestling's all kayfabe, and you got to stay in character. And he's just like, I don't give a fuck. He's just the most like, since like Austin or Bret Hart, he's the most just like in your face guy. He's like, I'm old and I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll
right.
go from Rambo Kimbo.
This is gonna be. Remember, this is about the wrestler,
Ramrod.
and I'm probably giving a lot more out of this, not the person. So my number 2, only for the wrestler, only as a performer, Chris Benoit.
Oh.
As a performer, as a wrestler, next to none. Probably one of the best. As a human being, as Paul Heyman would say, you know what he did was unspeakable.
He was brain damaged, not to defend anything he did, but he had like they say in the autopsy, he had the brain of an 8-year-old. To me, he's an entirely different person. His career from what he did, he was brain damaged beyond belief. You know,
and that's why they've changed a lot to the WWE now, where there's no more chair, like no more headshots to the head with chairs.
Yeah.
And certain moves they try to stop. But remember when I first tried to do the Swan Dive headbutt, bro?
Oh, yes.
So in rehearsal, once again, I did the Swan Dive headbutt, but this time we had a kickboxing bag that we used to practice. I missed the bag entirely and hit the ground.
And this explains why, guys, when last year Lower Heart here, when a guy was trying to say it's the 80s figure, what we didn't see behind doors is me holding Campbell back and him trying to kill him. I said, I'm sorry, he's just got concussions and he's got little wee, he's gone crazy, you know?
I'm not sure what that means. And the screaming.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, as a performer, like he was the one. So I'm not a big guy. I'm short, like Chris Benoit. He's probably taller than me, actually. But I fell in love with I fell in love with the crippler crossface. And yeah, that shit literally hurts, doesn't it, bro?
Oh, you know, bro, you did it to me.
I know. But I'm actually, I ain't gonna lie to you.
Radios.
Yeah, we've used a couple of moves in real life to get us out of trouble, and it does work.
Yeah,
it does work. Nothing fancy, but the Chris Benoit one, the crippler crossface, yeah, that's a good move. That really is quite painful.
So which generation was Benoit? Was he mid-90s or late 90s? Because again, he's another guy that
he was like the Stu Hart's Dungeon Canadian blokes and all that trained together, like Hart family and all that.
Yeah,
yeah.
Late
80s. He was in Japan. He was back in Japan. That's where
Japan was a big part of his career, and that before he's known so well in the West.
Yeah.
And he's more hard style.
Yeah, he was obviously hurting a lot, but wasn't like speaking out that something was wrong. As I say, I'm not excusing what he did.
No, you never can.
I think the death of his best mate, Eddie Guerrero, just push him over the edge.
Yeah,
you're right, mate. Yeah,
he got severe depression.
That and the years of abuse to his head, and then you put drugs in the mix, and you know.
Yeah. And
you're ranking the wrestler, not the man. So don't.
No.
No issues there.
No issues there.
He's still one of my favorite wrestlers, despite how he ended up. But it's like the life he lived before that. You can't discount everything that came before that, because people would say he was a decent person.
Exactly.
All right. Let's move on to our number one choices, guys.
Number one.
Some people call him Johnny Be Good, and some people like him Johnny Be Bad. Johnny, okay, number one.
I'll get number
good
one.
and bad.
Number one. There's another one of these guys who's had kind of several careers, because he's had the outlaw indie backyard sort of wrestling circuit where he famously feuded with Jerry Lawler in the 70s. Well, he didn't actually get in the ring with him, but he kind of started some shit in car parks outside gyms and other nonsense trying to get him into the ring, which didn't happen. And one time resulted in a standoff with actual guns and other bullshit that had to be diffused, but luckily no one got shot. But yeah, we might have heard of this guy. Oh yeah, he's the macho man. Stand to the side and back again. He's right up in your face.
Macho man.
And Gene in there, he's got to come in there and interview. Oh no, the macho man, he's looking quite deranged tonight. Oh no. But yeah, he's had a lot of career highlights. He's had his 80s run, those famous 70s pimp jackets and all that from that guy from the 70s that designed the stuff for Hogan and other people, like they put him onto, but like a Taylor sort of thing. Had his awesome run in WCW Madness with DDP and all that. I'm just finishing up a awesome biography book, came out last year. It's like an independent book, but he got permission from Lanny Poffo to do interviews with him and permission to do the book rather than being just a sort of unauthorized biography. It's kind of official but unofficial. It's super detailed, goes into his whole career and all the stuff. Goes through all the stuff how he was trained up for the major leagues for baseball, and put all his effort into that for several years. Made it onto some teams, but then sort of got cut. Got cut again, and the last time he got cut, it comes up some of those documentaries. He got real mad one time. Took all his bats and smashed them all on a tree. And says, "I'm done with baseball," and just threw himself into other stuff, and eventually got into the wrestling via the sort of independent outlaw circuits, and then went on later on went on to have amazing feuds with Hogan and the Mega Powers and the Mega Maniacs and all that sort of stuff, and intercontinental champ, went on to be heavyweight champ, despite being a smaller guy who boxed himself up quite a bit. And of course he was Bonesaw in Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi Toby Maguire. He's like, Bonesaw, you'll be some pain.
I don't think he ever did. He ever hit a wrestling match?
50s and got massive.
Did he ever hit a wrestling match against his brother, the Genius? I don't think those two ever fought.
I think they.
He used to wrestle with him. He used to wrestle with his brother and his dad, and like in the 70s, they all drove around together on the circuit, doing like independent circuits and that.
Yep, I remember that.
Genius. He's great in the documentaries. He's like probably the smartest in the family. He's a bit of a nerd, it was wordplay in it.
Yeah. It's quite interesting to hear his brother talked about, like, there's Randy Savage, the person, and then his ultimate macho, the deeper.
Yeah, Randy Savage is an nerd who got into like athletics and baseball and then later wrestling. And then kind of went off the rails and became the Macho Man in real life to the detriment of Randy Poffo, the person.
Yeah. The same thing. He kind of was more kind of gone.
He lived the gimmick. He lived the gimmick 24/7. People got into like bar fights and diner fights and shit with people that resulted in like stabbings and knifings and shit just because he was just so hinged up here where just anything would set him off,
His promos were like was next level. Yeah, his promos were next level. Like they were beyond anyone else in the 80s. Like he took it. He was far better than Flair. I mean, I thought Flair started it off, in WCW, and Flair would actually go off on a tangent. But Macho went off. We go off on a tangent too.
That's the thing about Ric Flair. Ric Flair lost his cool and kind of got crazy. And Macho Man, he blew it up. I'm gonna take the championship. And he tamed it. He kind of gets you up that level, and then he went back down. Yeah. And you'll go up, and you'll go back down.
He was just as good when he had his back to the camera.
Like Cream of the Crop, he got that from other previous guys, and he would famously make notes, like nerd notes and lists, like the Steamboat Dragon match from WrestleMania 3. That's something like 200 lines of text as an entire match. They went through that for like 3 months before they did that match, all on paper, and actually did it. When it came to like old school guys like George the Animal, he was just like, "What are you talking about? Get out of here with your stupid paper and notes. We'll get in, we'll call it to the ring." And it's like, "No, we're gonna go on the notes."
Yeah.
All right, bro. what's our number? What's the
One.
first-
There's still
Number
one.
one.
Ones. All right.
Is this number one?
No,
is it? Yeah.
At this,
Yeah.
I don't know if this is going to be a clean sweep or not, but my number one is
sure,
also
Oh yeah.
Wow.
definitely number one. He
I hope my
he,
mum's watching this.
he kicks Brutus's ass actually. So yeah, again, this era of Macho Man is my era with the stars on the trunks.
Yeah.
Nice.
First, go and do to Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah, to be honest, I love the toys as much as the actual wrestling on the TV. So these figures are also just perfection. I think it's one of the best LJNs, and definitely, I think this is Series 1. The original Macho Man is the best Hasbro that they released. The fact that you can pose him so he does his flying elbow off the top rope is just perfect.
Insane.
Best finishing move. He had great storylines, and as Johnny said, the best promos, interviews, pre-match. He was just an absolute legend. It's awesome, like listening to Quino do the Macho Man impersonations, and your custom is fantastic, Campbell. So
Oh yeah.
he is easily the cream of the crop. He is, he's risen to the top.
Kim can make them. I can sound them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's perfect. He's the perfect wrestler. The complete package. And I love the whole storyline as well with Miss Elizabeth back in the day, and their relationship, and Hulk Hogan getting involved and all of that carry on. So yeah, I love him as much as heel and babyface too. Like, he's just brilliant. And I didn't realize how much I liked him until actually I became an adult toy collector and started, like, the good thing about collecting these toys is I've started rewatching wrestling again, and yeah, now I realize he is definitely number one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, when I now thought about it, yeah, he was heel or face. It did not matter. He just you
owned
knew-
it. Yeah.
He
sort of
there's so many
transcended that
wrestling
character
matches
from even
that
when
it
he
was
bad.
legendary that he did. The Ultimate Warrior, the Dragon Steamboat, the Dream, all those rivals he had.
Yeah.
Your boots is on the left.
Steamboat's one of the best
Boots is
because
on the right.
athletic and similar body weight and size, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfection.
Him and Scary Sherry were. I think the only time, like, when him and Scary Sherry teamed up, when they did promo, it was like a crazy house in there, when he lost the match, if I remember, he lost the match to, I can't remember what it was, and they were both going crazy about it. I was off the head, All right, next up.
Who's next?
Nice one, Phil.
Yeah.
Nice one, Phil.
Get me off the screen.
Next one up.
You're a prisoner,
Man.
Phil. You'll be fine. It's
So of course there's, like with number one is everyone's got a different number one. I think for my own number one growing up, it would have to be, mine's a little bit worse for wear, but mine is
Oh, nice.
No.
the Dragon.
The
Ricky
Dragon.
Steamboat.
Yeah.
So yeah, his fingers are a bit, but just like what Johnny said,
Doing a nice Bruce Lee
I was-
pose there.
gotta have a little custom one of that WrestleMania match with the white
That's
trunks.
cool.
So,
Wow. That's awesome.
What did
I call
what
it
did
that
you use?
as Ryu look.
Yeah.
What did you use to paint that, mate? Because it's really hard to paint on rubber.
That is
yeah,
beautiful.
well, I mean, full disclosure, somebody was selling this on Trade Me, and I snapped it up real quick. So
Oh, true.
Nice.
yeah, so I don't know what they grabbed, but I had to get his white trunks when he defeated Macho Man at WrestleMania 3. So yeah, Ricky Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's my number one. In regards to wrestlers, and so yeah, definitely he's my fave.
Nice. Yep.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Actually,
cool.
I hope he's. I don't know if he is already, but I hope he gets. I think he is actually in the Hall of Fame, isn't he? He should be.
I think he is, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he is
I
actually.
think he is.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go for my number one. And everyone knows my number one, you know. I know I do a lot of Macho Man Randy Savage. But actually, my number one, I love this guy. And I'm still passionate. I got his DVD cassette of his documentary. Of course, it's Bret, the Hitman Hart. The excellent of execution. The best there is, the best there was. And I got this little rubber guy. I love this little rubber guy. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I used to twist and I'm like, kick. All right. I love him. I just got to get my stand-up figure from Hawke's Bay. But no, mine's Bret. And to be honest, if I have to pick which one I like, what era, I will actually say not when he was with the Hart Foundation. That was my favorite tag team. But I liked it when he came back and he had that little wee thing against Owen Hart. That was a good era. That was a good one. Then he left WCW and came back. I didn't like him in WCW. WCW just didn't know what to do with him. And it kind of ruined his career nearly.
He was there for the money, really. Like Vince couldn't pay him for what WCW was willing to pay him.
But he's.
I don't think he really wanted to go there. He went because of the money, but I don't think he really wanted to go there.
He
Even to this day, he said he was loyal to Vince.
Commentary, so he had no option but to sort of leave.
Yeah. The thing is, my favorite era had to be him and Shawn Michaels. Campbell, I had a few. We had a few. He liked Shawn Michaels. I liked Bret Hart. And there was the great Iron Man match that those two had. And we had a bet, a little wager. Whoever wins, lucky Campbell won, because I can see him trying to carry me around. Whoever won had to carry on our backs like a piggyback around the neighborhood. And of course, Shawn Michaels won. I had to carry Cambo the Rambo with his junk hitting my neck around the neighborhood.
Jesus Christ.
Junk around the neck of the neighborhood. Stay tuned for the ultimate match.
He got the trunk in the trunk, people. He's Cambo the Rainbow. What's your number one?
Okay. Now, you have to say The Undertaker. The Undertaker is to me is the number one. Honestly, bro, you've already said it. It has to be HBK himself, Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels to me. Shawn Michaels to me,
not wrestler. Like everyone says, he was a great wrestler till he got a few beers in him and drugs.
He's a great athlete. As a human being at that time, he was a fucking rascal.
Yeah, well, he used to go to all the stories like Kevin Nash will say, and there's a few of them will say he'll go into bars, have a few beers, and he gets ass kicked. He always gets himself beaten up.
Well, we're talking about the rest of the
I think he was quite insecure in his younger years, apart from the drugs aside,
Yeah.
But he was a great wrestler.
He was insecure because I noticed that. Early on, he's a nail biter, so majority of people who are insecure bite their nails. And they also had a dad, which he had to call Colonel, which is probably why I get my kids to call me Colonel. But yeah, Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels to me was the showstopper, the Heartbreak Kid. Do you remember, bro, when we played indoor cricket and I started posing and acting like Shawn Michaels?
Oh, yeah. You pissed off one of our foster brothers. Yeah. I pissed off Tony.
Yep.
We kind of raised each other we were around like brothers, and you pissed them off like doing Shawn Michael poses.
Yeah,
But you had upper hand. You had me as your betting partner, and I played cricket properly.
Yeah,
you know.
But Shawn Michaels the best. I mean, Undertaker. It was a toss up between Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, and when I say toss up, I literally had to toss a coin to see who it was.
Yeah,
but yeah, Shawn Michaels to me is
if he's gonna do the Undertaker, or he's gonna do Shawn Michaels. You know, back then we were buying clothing, merchandise, and all that sort of stuff. And Campbell, when he bought that hat, he rocked the hat, guys.
Yep.
That's the point. Cambo the Rainbow. He used the hat in a lot of things.
I've still got the Shawn Michael, bro. I've still got the Shawn Michael and Diesel gloves. I can't fit in them anymore.
I'm just a toy boy. I still got my Bret Hart sunglasses somewhere.
Now we were going to do tag teams, but it's getting quite on a bit, so we could probably do tag teams, but pretty quickly.
Hey, what about one? What about one pick each?
Yeah, ultimate.
I'm going to say Heart Foundation. Done.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. What is your number one for the tag teams?
All right, Johnny.
Heart Foundation, man, like Neidhart, Brett before he got off from the single status, like just legendary run, and of course, like Jimmy Hart as manager. I'm like, come on, baby, Jimmy Hart, come on, baby,
come on. All right, Dr. Phil.
Heart Foundation, but shout out also to Powers of Pain. I love the Powers of Pain.
Yeah,
Warlord and Barbarian with Mr. Fuji. They were like as a heel tag team. They were freaking fan. I love them a lot more than the Legion of Doom actually. So Powers of Pain and Heart Foundation for sure. But shout out to the Bushwhackers for representing New Zealand. But not my favorites, but they were great comedy.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I remember when the Bushwhackers came to New Zealand. I came to WWF, and we're like, New Zealanders are in the WWF. Yes, bro, there's chance for us. We can do this.
It was huge, when they came out. They put New Zealand. It felt like they put New Zealand on the map. Honestly,
yeah, I agree.
The best tag team, and like they remember used to be the sheep herders for all their bloody bushwhackers. Like bushwhackers a better name.
Yeah.
These
are the wee mini.
Those are cool.
Luke and Butch. Yeah,
they turn up some of them Dark Side of the Ring episodes, and they do some quite good talks and interviews on that.
Yep.
R.I.P. Butch.
Yeah.
All right, Reigns, what's your top tag team?
Top tag team, I would have to go with Demolition. X and Smash. X and Smash, Demolition. Actually, my special mention, because I actually like Strikeforce. So Tito Santana.
Same here.
That was great too.
Yep. That was
Flying Forearm.
That was a good one. All right, my one is going to shock people. You might think it's going to be Heart Foundation. No. My one's actually the Mega Powers. Macho Man and Hulk Hogan when they teamed up. I don't know. I just think that was an iconic tag team.
Actually, bro, the Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior was a far better tag team. They were set to go for the gold, and then Ultimate Warrior did a runner.
Yeah, well,
actually, getting gassed on the way to the ring.
I don't know. My memory, I did love the Demolition. They were a great tag team, but somehow everything pops up when the Macho Man, and he did his little promo, and they did that little match. I know it was a short sort of stunt, but it was good.
It is pretty epic to see like the ultimate babyface with the kind of his adversary teaming up and becoming like the next big star, and you're like, I'll just push.
That was. I have to say that my number one. Number two.
That was a pretty good promo, actually.
I think somebody got Quentin behind the scenes. I think everybody's got a price. I think Quentin Moba got bought off with that choice there.
Money Inc.
Secrets. Okay, Cambo the Rainbow.
Okay, here we go. Oh, you didn't know?
Oh,
I think you better get your ass to call somebody. Wow, I had it in for a long time. The New Age Outlaws.
And the
Nice.
ass man. I'm a ass man.
When he was part gun.
Nice.
I don't know how that sounded actually. That sounded
That sounded pretty good. Pretty good.
But yeah,
Actually-
it was a weird combination, those two, but they made it work.
But they worked. And they spun off of DX with the colours, but then they became their own thing. They were popular enough to keep going on their own.
Yeah.
I think
The
they
New
were
Age
actually, you think about it, as a tag team, successfully in the long run, they, like a lot of tag teams looked alike. They had a similar weave thing. You got Billy Gunn, you got all that sort of stuff. Road Dogg, and it has different looks. And you get ones like now, tag teams now, they're starting to look alike, but for a long time, tag teams had their own style.
Yeah.
Road Dogg used to be the roadie with Double J.
How about the Rock and Stock connection?
Oh,
Yeah, the
that's
Rock and Sock.
honorable. Yeah, the Rock and Sock connection. That's honorable mention. All right, guys, we'll do one more honorable mention. One more honorable mentions before we leave.
Should we just do a quick number of who your favorite diva or who your favorite woman wrestler is?
I was
Okay,
going to
I'll
say,
do that.
have we talked about heels? How about our favorite? Have all of our favorites been babyface? Have we mentioned heels yet?
Yeah. Oh, Montreal Man, he was heel on face.
Yeah, I'm not
Bret
gonna-
Hart was
yeah.
heel on face.
Now,
I
I love that.
I was going to shout out to Ted DiBiase. Like Johnny just showed $1 Million Man. He was the guy I love to hate the most. So
And he was a Christian, so he did the gimmick really well.
he was brilliant as a heel. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Junkyard Dog was the best man in his wedding.
True.
Yeah.
He was a really nice guy, but he played a bloody good heel. You're right there, Phil. How about you, Johnny?
Who's your favourite
I'm gonna
heel?
go Million Dollar Man as well, just because like when I think of like awesome promos and those segments that were filmed away from the ring, just out in the real world or whatever, like Flair, Macho by the poolside with Liz, which is being one of Vince McMahon's estates and whatever. But the $1 Million Man, when he's driving along, he's like, I know all those guys are out there trying to be survivors, but I got a plan. And then he's kicking basketball with some little kids that they actually paid something to be on the siege.
He was
Kicking the kids out of the pool when he's driving along in his like Rolls Royce or whatever the hell it was. Like he's just absolutely
You just
brilliant.
love to
And
hate
he's an
him.
awesome podcast
Yeah.
too. If you go on like Golden Network era, Hacksaw and $1 Million Man have an ongoing podcast over the last 2 years on YouTube. It's free, awesome to listen to. They tell stories about all that.
cool.
Oh wow, I didn't check it out then.
Yeah.
Great. Man. Who's your ultimate heel?
The person who rocked me up the most growing up was Rick Rude, especially when he started wearing Jake's wife's on his tights, and so Rick Rude was the only one that just rocked me up back in the days.
Yeah, I hated Rude too.
Yeah.
Probably my second favorite heel.
He did his job well then.
Wow.
Yeah.
My one quickly. I'm going to get my brother to hand the head over to me. I knew he was a good wrestler, but hated him too. It's Shawn Michaels.
I thought you were going to say it was your brother.
Overrated. Only because he was overrated. But he was a good wrestler. I love to hate him. Shawn
I like when he
Michaels.
come in on that big flying fox thing. That was awesome from the big.
That was
dome.
awesome. That's why he's a
Ring.
showstopper, bro. The showstopper.
He didn't die like Owen Hart, so they obviously.
Actually, I
couldn't
reckon
do it.
I reckon Duty Dom is actually starting to become the next Shawn Michaels, eh?
he's kind of
did
similar
Dom
sort of
talk. So, I'm the greatest and the current champion. It reminds me a bit of Shawn Michaels' cockiness.
Yeah, he's got.
And I wonder
that.
the Campbell liked them because Campbell the Rambo was a cocky guy back in the days.
Okay, yeah,
He was a nice guy,
an
big
optional
guy.
plug on mullet, but you can take it off and also have the smooth look. We need all the options with that figure, really.
Well, true
Yeah.
story. He did rock a mallet.
Let's see if I can get this. I'm gonna say it. Let's see if I can get this accent right. What we need is a bit of arrogance.
Yay!
The model.
The model.
The model.
Rick Martel. I'm the model. Look at me. When I was younger, I did a perfect. Before my voice changed,
He did it. He did it.
Martel.
Annoyed everyone.
I love it. It's a toss up, bro, between Mr. Perfect or Rick the Model Martel.
Mm.
Have we got time for one more, guys?
Why not? It's your stream.
Yeah.
Is it what you
Another
want?
round.
Yeah.
I reckon we should do our favourite woman wrestler.
Oh, bro. One more legend, like I mean, one more wrestler that has passed. Our number one top wrestler that's passed,
Oh, a wrestler that passed away.
like a legend. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
it's a hard one for me, bro. So I'm gonna go with number. I'm gonna bring 2 out because I got to bring 2 out. You can do 2 if you
Okay.
want to.
Johnny be good or Johnny be bad?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna go a little bit filthy, a little bit modern. Watch out. I'm also gonna go female. So be careful. Be careful what you say around here. And it's an even thing here for me, but like ones we've had in recent years, say the last sort of 5+ years. Ray Ripley, who's from Australia, mate, and she's just a fucking beast in the ring, man. She's like powerful, like she can just destroy you.
Johnny,
And,
we're talking about,
and she's
we're talking
great,
about
like with the gimmick and the promos. And I really like old Becky Lynch, the man who actually got sued over using the words "the man," which are not copyrighted to Ric Flair now or ever. It's his phrase, but he actually sued her in WWE over that phrase, which was ridiculous.
All right, actually, I hate to say this, Johnny, but Campbell's going to go up in a minute. We're talking about legends who have passed away. He didn't want to do woman wrestlers, Campbell.
No, I do,
Well,
I do, bro.
in mind before he said that,
Well,
so I
make
don't.
up your mind, bro.
Think about other ones.
Well, no, he's already started with the women's wrestling. So let's do with the woman, and then we'll finish it off with the legends. How about that?
Okay. So there we go. It's a
On to the next person, 'cause I have to think of who. There's so many people that passed away. Harley Race. I assume he's gone. I don't know, to be honest.
Actually, there we can do. We can do both at the same time. Harley Race, yeah.
Maybe he'll die
All right.
while I'm saying it. It's like I've jinxed someone.
All right.
What are we
Oh.
doing? I'm lost.
Whoa.
You're lost. Right. Do your favorite
Legend?
do your favorite woman wrestler and your favorite legend.
Well, again, going back to like that limited time frame I followed wrestling, I do not remember there being many female. Like it's terrible, but I don't remember there being many female wrestlers. I thought Sensational Sherry was.
Oh yeah.
Was
Yeah,
just
she's
great
great.
as as Macho Man's
Yep.
side there.
And she's passed away too.
Actually, I was going to say, sorry.
And she's passed away too.
Yeah, she's passed
So you-
away. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a great documentary on her too, actually, that I saw a few months back. Really interesting doco. My legend, and we didn't mention him in our top 5. Actually, we didn't mention Hulk Hogan either, but can't stand Hulk Hogan. The other one, would be the Ultimate Warrior. Would be, I guess. Again, going back to that limited 4 or 5 year run that I really just loved wrestling. The Ultimate Warrior was just such a massive draw card, so he would be my legend that's passed, I guess.
Hey,
Yeah,
Phil,
that's a good one.
In the mid '80s, there actually was a Japanese women's wrestling league that was popular with females and mostly schoolgirls. I was reading about this like history of wrestling book.
Yeah, I remember I was listening to you and Boba Hicks talking about that.
And then in America, they had Glow and Pow, but they were more like sexy wrestling rather than serious wrestling. You know.
Yeah, it's great. It's great that now female wrestling is much more in the spotlight. But yeah, again, in the late, I mean, I don't remember seeing any female wrestling fights.
You had like
in
Jake Snake
in that golden
like
era,
Wendy Richter and some of those ones that would pop up in the manias, but there would be like a one-off match, and they were mostly off in Japan, and they weren't really that popular in America.
Yeah, like Rock and Robin.
Yeah.
Well,
right,
you
man.
actually stole mine. That was my one, Rock and Robin. I just remember
yours,
her
bro.
with Cyndi Lauper, as her manager, and so Rock and Robin, and I'd have to say him side by side with China.
The legend. Oh yeah, China.
I like China. I got a good figure I picked up with her.
I've got a fondness with China, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She paved the way for the for the woman to actually compete with the guys and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
And she was,
believably so.
Yeah.
And Cambo would be like, I'd take a submission from China. Yeah.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think actually those two actually did do a X-rated movie together. The Kimbo
I
Rambo.
think they did. Cambo Rambo,
Express.
XXL, wasn't that
Express.
one?
Really?
Chinese subways.
Oh, come on, bro. Come on. Okay, my one is actually going to be, and people don't realize this, but Alondra Blaze. She was
Medusa. Alondra Blaze. Yeah.
Medusa Michelli.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was a good wrestler. She was actually, she tried to wrestle. I think for her, I feel bad. She came in an era where she was good technical wrestler, but the women around her were not, it takes two good wrestlers to make a good wrestling match, and she just didn't have the pedigree around her to actually excel and to go out. That's why she pretty much left WWF with the title, went to WCW, hoping to find talent there, but there was a lack of it.
No, there was something, bro.
The
She did a lot
territories and
better.
that, but the same problem there.
She did way better than WCW.
Yeah.
My legend, if I have to say a legend that's passed away, to be honest, it will be, this is kind of shocking, guys, is Kamal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was a truck driver too.
Dragon Giant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I recall the first match with him against Undertaker and him getting freaked out every time the Undertaker set up.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah, he was a truckie. He was a great guy.
Yeah.
He was a legend. And it's sad what happened to him, and lost to the league through diabetes.
Wasn't it like diabetes or something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
took him. Yeah,
Damn.
right. The Shawn Michaels of New Zealand, the Heartbreak Kid, Cambo Rambo.
I don't know if I'm lagging or
He's
not.
camouflage. Where's he gone? There's nothing on
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah, he is camouflage.
You can't see me.
I don't know if I'm lagging or not, but I would say it's a female, and unfortunately, you're right. It's China. I had a great. I had a great fondness for China. China was awesome.
Yeah.
She's not my legend though. So China was my diva or my woman's champion. She was primo, especially after she did a boo job and she got better. But anyway, but my legend, none other than Viva la Raza!
Oh,
Eddie Guerrero.
yes.
The lying, cheating, and stealing.
Yeah.
he was-
Yeah, he was
yeah.
a legend.
Yeah,
Latino heat. Mamacita.
Latino Yeet.
And actually, him and China, the storyline there, that was a good storyline.
Oh yeah, true. I forgot about that too, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he was a legend in ECW, then in WCW, and then went on to have a great run in WWF as well with China and all that.
Actually,
Coming down the low rider and those entrances are awesome.
It's sad what happened to him, but you're right. He was great in Japan.
Japan.
And he was great in WCW, great in Triple A. He was in Triple A, which is the Mexican wrestling. WCW, name it. He succeeded right through.
And his family, the whole Guerrero family through the 80s and that with, legends.
All right, guys. I'm just gonna move my internet cable because my wife's getting ready to go. So I'll be back in a sec.
Wow. No, he's gone. No,
I'm still here.
Truthfully, he's talking about China. He wants to look at some old video footage of him on China. Oh, Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, Cambo's gone. He had a choice of being in New Zealand or being in China. He goes, mate, I'd rather be in China.
No,
You can't go far with Eddie without his old mate, of course, Ray.
Ray Mysterio.
Yeah. Stereo. Look at that. Absolute legends.
The Latino New World Order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
LWO. It started as a
I'm
joke,
amazed.
but then people still wear shirts now at the current shows now with the LWO.
Yeah. I'm actually shocked how his son is doing, Rey Mysterio. You know, the Dirty
Yeah,
Dom.
he's doing all right.
Yeah,
He's not
ever
my
since he
favourite
came to
dude,
the
but he's
channel,
definitely
he
like
really.
working the gimmick and he's doing the stories and
Yeah, well, I find Dom is. I always said he was good at doing like, promos and all that sort of stuff. Not very good at wrestling. I'm really was shocked at his wrestling skills right now. So he deserves an Intercontinental Champion. People might disagree with me with that. Can I see him going any further? No, not like his dad. I can't see him going world champion like his father did. But that's a good choice.
He'll probably stick around for a while though. It's like he's definitely a talented dude.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that! He's camouflaged again. He's invisible.
Yeah, there we go.
He's back.
Sorry. All right, bro. I reckon we'll end this.
It was good times, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna come up next couple of days. You're doing your Macho video.
Yep.
Yeah.
So sorry, that was meant to be uploaded today, but I've just got a few more editing to do, so it should be uploaded tomorrow.
Oh, today. Oh yeah.
About 10 a.m.
You're looking forward to that.
Okay, so everybody, thank you so much for turning up, guys. You guys are absolute legends. Would you please all like, share, subscribe to all of these beautiful channels? Like Phil, my man down here, Johnny over there. I'm still hanging on Rams and the Cobra Pit, and also the Barracks Podcast. Check that channel out too.
Yes.
It's been bloody fun, boys. Thank you very much. It's been great.
No worries.
Memory lane again, and any excuse to bring up my toys and flash them on cameras. A good time.
No worries, mate. And I know once again, like time is real precious. So thank you so much for tuning up, guys.
Thank you, Campbell Brothers, for
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. So we can probably end off with our favorite impersonation, bro.
Ooh, the show is not the cream of the crop. No one can do it better than these 5 individuals. We are the top Survival Series team. Ooh, yeah.
All right, bro, let's go.